Hello there everyone, how you doing today? I hope you're all well. Today we're going into r/entitled people, where entitled people, as the name suggests, would abound. I hope you enjoy. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. Now without further ado, let's get started. You work at Lowe's? Karen says I must serve her like a puppy, and then assaults me. Partially entitled dad doesn't help much. So the title basically explains it all. For context, I worked at Lowe's during the pandemic, and that was truly a challenge. I congratulate other retail workers who survived through the ordeal, and thank all healthcare workers and first responders, as life wouldn't be the same without you guys. Now let's get on to the story. For context, I would have posted this on r/Lowe's. However, I felt like this deserved the entitled person post. I, a 24 male, was 21 when this happened. At Lowe's, you must serve any and every customer with their bullshit smart customer service, which during the COVID made it even harder. The company was a shit show, and quite frankly still is, because their upper management makes any and all associates bow down to Karen customers while refusing to help any employees. It was Sunday night, near the end of the summer. I was grateful I had a few hours until the end of shift, until Karen shows up, and buys a large portable air conditioner unit. She drives one of those small landscape-type dump trucks. This is important later. One of my buddies in our department was outside gathering carts. As if you're not helping a customer near the end of the night, you're outside doing carts. There are no customers around our area, and all of our restock has been fulfilled for now. As I'm helping him gather carts, we're just talking about life in general. Good times and how we'd like to get out of this job and into a good career. As we're gathering the carts that were in the back of the parking lot to push up to the front, we see the middle-aged Karen just start yelling at us, saying, "You too," and snaps at us. Then she starts waving at us like we couldn't already see her. She also whistles to get our attention, as if we didn't hear her. She starts yelling at us why weren't we at the door or helping her inside, despite another associate who already helped her with the purchase. For some context, the other associate who helped her couldn't deadlift the air conditioner by herself, as Karen felt entitled. Other associate was small and petite, a 19 female, who, after a while, cried in the break room because Karen had thrown a fit because she couldn't carry it by herself, and used a flat cart to take it outside. We get over to Karen to help her get her air conditioner in. She wants to make it into the dump truck. No ratchet straps, tie-downs, or anything to secure it. This is important later. She demands we pick this up and put it at neck level in this dump truck for her. As we're lifting, my buddy says he needs to set it down because he couldn't grip it, and we reconfigure the lift. At that point, Karen looked angry at us. We start lifting again, and the Karen starts yelling at us that we're doing it wrong and will break her new unit, despite using the cut-in handles. Karen then shoves me to the ground and says, "Frick you, I'll do it myself." My buddy helps me up as Karen closes the tailgate and nearly backs up over me and drives off. As I get up with his help, up and over me, our supervisor says he was standing in the doorway and saw it all. He informed me that the store cameras recorded it if I wanted to contact HR and tell them what occurred, though he cautioned I shouldn't pursue it because the store management would feel the store's reputation and sales would be at risk, since if I pressed charges, it would affect the revenue. He also explained they would find an excuse to fire me. He did say what I do in my off time he has no control over, suggesting I should pursue charges off the clock. I went home a few hours later to my house, as I didn't make enough to afford to live on my own. I tell my dad what happened, and he wasn't much help. My own freaking father told me I should just shrug it off and let it go. He told me I should man up and not be a little bitch even though my own body was violated by a middle-aged Karen, and I shouldn't pursue it, as I don't have proof of and other stuff. I had to work from like 10 to 6 the next day, and I found out from an appliance associate that Karen came back around 8 a.m. and screamed at customer service, and her new AC unit was broken, and she wanted a full refund. The store manager gave her a refund, and despite all, she berated, harassed, and assaulted a few associates. The store and company don't have your back, and they'll sue anything to retain a customer. I'm glad I left there a few months later. Lowe's has progressively gotten worse, and I work in another sector. Also, the 19-year-old associate left shortly after that. She was in college, despite working at a Lowe's. I heard she now has a job doing something she likes, and graduated. As for Karen, if you're out there, screw you, and I hope the world gives you hell. Neighbor takes money off of my property and calls me rude. Friends and I were headed to the movies the other day. They carpooled to my house, and I then drove from there. At the theater, my friend reaches into her pocket for money and realizes her cash is missing. We search around and in the car, and it cannot be found. At dinner, she asks me to check my security camera to see if she dropped it in my driveway. I look but cannot tell. However, I see there is a video 5 minutes later. It shows a car pull up and a woman jump out of the passenger seat, walk into my driveway and pick up the cash, hop back into the car and drive off. I decide to post on the Book of Faces in my POA group the following, hoping someone can help. My friend was visiting today and dropped some cash in the driveway. I have a video of a lady in a white car get out and come into my driveway and pick it up. I have pictures of the person in car. If anyone has any information, please let me know. This was a lot of money to her. Thank you. I refrained from posting her picture because those things cannot be undone. A bit later, a lady responds, "I'll come by tomorrow." And that's it, nothing else. Cue the next afternoon, she's come to my door. This boomer Karen starts off the conversation in an angry way, telling me my Facebook post was very rude because I posted that I have a picture of the person. And what was I going to do? Call the police? And I told her she was lucky I didn't post her picture, and that she was in the wrong by coming onto my property and taking something that wasn't hers. I mean, she took money from my property and she's mad at me? She said it was barely on my property. Has she forgotten I have the video? And she was waiting to see if anyone reported it, but is mad somebody did. And I told her by her logic, if she leaves a bike in her driveway, I can grab it, take it home, and keep it if no one reports it. She continued to argue, and I decided I wasn't going to waste any more time on this lady. The best part? I found out she lives right next door. What a great welcome to the neighborhood, isn't that right? Entitled X ghosted my friend and then demands a room in our house. This isn't my ex, but my best friend's ex. She and I have been friends for years and live together now. And now we live with my parents, who adore her like their own daughter. I got her permission to post this. My friend, 30 female, came to the U.S. from Latin America at 19 as a student. She also started dating her ex, who was a 29-year-old male, after many years of hanging out with each other, both during vacations and online. I knew them both since high school, and they seemed good together. She tried to convince him to move together for a few years before their breakup. He was living with his parents, who wanted him to leave. At this point, she had already finished college and had a job in the U.S. that granted her a visa. He had quit college and worked part-time. From what I can gather, he didn't want to leave his parents' place because free food and no rent. So instead, she asked me if I wanted to move with her so we could afford a bigger place. I said yes, and we moved together, adopted a cat and a dog. and pretty much became Grace and Frankie. Around the start of the pandemic, things got bad for them. This is what I was told and what I saw. They never talked or hang out or anything. It was in a breakup at that time myself, so I wasn't really on top since I had my own issues. But my friend cried so much. She didn't even get a happy birthday. After a year of no contact, she assumed the relationship was over. She changed all her social media to single, which he could see, took him off her emergency contacts at work and at her doctor's, and just moved on with her life. This year, my stepdad's health has gone downhill, and my mom needs help caring for him. She works full-time as a therapist. I work from home, and my job is very flexible. So I put the idea of all of us living together, and I'll care for my dad. Eventually, I'll care for my mom, too. My mom loved the idea and asked my bestie if she wanted to move with us, too, so we could all be together. And also because at this point, I can't see myself not being in the same house as her. We've come to terms in being single ladies. Heck, we've joked about one of us should adopt and we become parent-aunt dynamic. And now the joke is more serious since I'm considering it, and she's incredibly supportive. No, we're not dating. She's straight, I'm bi, we're just incredibly close after all the BS we've lived through together. We found a perfect house. 4-bedroom, 2.5 bathrooms, enough space, a yard, and everything we need. And we got it after a bunch of difficulties and arrangements. Since I don't have immediate plans for adopting yet, I have a ton of paperwork and years of planning ahead. We made the extra room into our office gaming hub. We both work at the same place. Totally not on purpose. They were hiring and we both needed visas. And as proud first-time homeowners, we posted pictures. Her ex, who by this time has been missing in action for 3 years, messaged her saying he was so excited to move into the new house. She told him this was her house with me and my parents. He said since they were a couple, she should kick me and my parents out so he could move in. I want to point out that my parents bought the house. We, friend and I, will pay them our parts over the years. And if she decides to move out, I'll finish paying and I'll buy her part out. This is all in paper and signed, so she obviously told him he was not moving in with us, and that he ghosted her, so there was no relationship. He went on a tirade that he never broke up with her, that she was abandoning him, that she never cared about him, and so on. I got angry, took the phone from her, and told him he could live in a bear cave for all I care, but to leave my friend alone, and our house. He went ballistic and began calling us some names, referring to the LGBTQ+ community. That would probably get this post flagged, so I'll leave it to your imagination. My friend started crying, and I was absolutely done with him. I never thought he was abusive, but my friend confessed to me that this was not new. He had always had issues with the two of us living together, and accused her often of cheating on him with me. We ended the call, and I told her she needed to block him for her own sanity's sake. She deserves so much better than this man-child. She got me to leave my abusive ex when I was in high school. She took me to the hospital when he beat me up and called my parents. My friend is family, and I'll be dead before I let some bastard with commitment issues make her suffer. Since he's gone on a major campaign in our friend group to say my friend abandoned him and left him homeless because apparently he canceled his lease after he saw we bought a house, he also claims we're lesbian Satanists that probably abuse our pets and are mooching off my parents. Most of my friends know the story and know my friend and I moved in together at first out of necessity. Then we just don't see ourselves not living together. So, yeah, my friend's ex is a nutcase, and if he ever gets close to her again, I will personally give him a vasectomy. Update. Hey everyone, a bit quick on the update, but some people asked if our friends knew where the ex was hiding for 3 years. And I was actually curious, since I was down for the count at work today, I had time to check with my friends and find out more. Apparently my bestie did ask them, but they didn't know. From what they tell me, he kinda got back into everyone's life in the last year or so. but he was part of the group because they were bestie friends, not really his. I don't personally know many of his own friends, to be fair. I did track down the ex's sister thanks to social media and poked her for info. She's very nice and always treated my bestie right. I told her what her brother did, and her response was very, very interesting. Apparently, the ex was dating other girls until his parents decided to move outside the U.S. He's now living in a friend's couch. The last she heard was a couple of days past when they went out for coffee. He was saying he got this brand new house and was going to be moving in this week. As far as she knew, my bestie begged him to take her back and let her live in his house. I did correct her and said that no, bestie is living with me and my parents in our new house. Her reaction was, of course he lied, and just thanked her for letting me know he was BSing. Aside from that, I do want to report we are safe. He doesn't know where we live, and most people don't, because we're not really ready to open Pandora's box and have friends come over. We also need time to figure out who we want in the know. We won't be going to the police unless something serious happens, just because this is technically not a crime, but we're going to keep recordings and print text conversations. If he tries anything, we have all our papers in order. And just in case, I plan to contact our company's HR so they know the situation. The company we work for can provide us free legal counsel if things get bad. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoy, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and check out my links in the description below. I'll see you all next time. Hasta la pasta.